Welcome back to Balls. Show us your balls.
Show us your balls.
Today, in this episode of Show Us Your Balls, Show Us Your Balls.
Yes, I am your decrepit host, Grace. I used to use her pronouns.
And I am your other host, Malachi. Use they, them pronouns.
Stuff has happened.
Stuff's happened.
We didn't record last week because I was fucking dead.
You were killed.
So
It's a wonder that you're back.
Yeah, I mean it's not gonna be any different because we've got like so many of these pre-recorded and ready to go. But like,
So tell me about the weeks that have passed.
Well, it's been 1 week. Yes, technically two.
It's like 2 weeks.
Yeah. A couple things happened. Some cool shit. Last episode, I probably talked about how I was getting ready to go see Haken live. Since it's been 2 weeks, I have seen them live now. That was my first ever concert, you know.
First concert.
Yeah, it was
Really?
pretty good.
Nice.
I liked all the music they played. I didn't know any of it until after the show because I wasn't that studied on them. I'd only listened to stuff from like their first two albums. But it was really good. I was in the front row.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Were people moshing? Were people going crazy?
No, there was no moshing.
Damn.
I mean, it's a prog show. There's not going to be moshing, really. I mean, there was a little moshing during the Symphony X show, but I got out of the front row for that. I was back by the merch booth because I was dead. The first band that played was Trope. They played for like less than an hour, but it was a decent set. It was a good set. I bought one of their CDs after the show.
Sounds good.
Then the Haken set, and then Symphony X played. After the show, met up with my friend Mason and his friends. He bought some merch, Symphony X flag, I believe. And then we got kicked out of the venue, so I was standing out front, and some weird guy in a blue shirt came up and asked me where the fucking crusty underbelly was for him to go keep the party going or some shit. I should have told him exact instructions so I could watch him fuck off into the dark. That would have been awesome.
What'd you tell him instead?
I told him I don't know.
It's a weird question to go up to a person and ask, I think.
Yeah. Oh no, I told him I'm underage and he like still kept talking to me.
Huh.
Like
That's...
I made it.
Well, if you're gonna be weird, that weird, I guess, I'm not so shocked that you just keep being weird.
Yeah. After that though, my friend Mason came out and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go this way. We're gonna go meet up with my friend and I'm gonna go talk to the keyboardist. And I was like, what? Oh yeah, that's right. You said you're friends with his brother. My friend's got a lot of weird connections in the music world because he used to work backstage at an event venue.
That's neat.
Plus he's in like a couple of forums that he's like he's friends with the keyboard player's brother from Haken. A lot of people are, but like, you know, I'm friends with him. So I got to meet the keyboardist, the bassist, and the drummer of Haken after the show.
How was that?
It was good. They were nice people. I may or may not have flipped off the bassist and the keyboard player.
What? Tell me more about that.
So, I was talking to them about how I had gotten into the band. This was my first concert. I wasn't too familiar with it beforehand, but I had listened to some music. The first song I listened to was Celestial Elixir, which is off their first album. The current keyboard player and bassist were not on the first album.
Interesting.
So they said, that's funny, neither of us played on that one. And I said, yep, and it was good. And then I flipped them off. And I made one of those noises that I make. You know, that kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How'd they react to that?
They laughed. Then I was like, hey, I play the bass too, but mine's broken. The electrics don't work. And then the keyboard player was like, yeah, his is broken too. So you're still not playing. And then he said, I refuse to play live. And I've told this story 4 times now. And every time it feels less funny.
Wait, he refuses to play live?
Well, no, he doesn't. It was just a joke. But
Oh, I see.
that's what he said when I said, and you're still not playing.
Ah,
And then I congratulated him on his panto ability.
panto.
Pantomime.
This must be a guitar term that I don't understand.
Pantomime. It's
Pantomime.
a theater term.
See, I'm not a theater kid. You gotta tell
I'm
me
not
what
either. I could have been. I should have been, but I wasn't.
should have been?
Yeah.
What do you mean by should have been?
I just feel like my quality of life would have been higher if I had
Yeah.
been a theater kid. Like I would have had a better coping mechanism.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. What have I been doing? Do you have anything? Let me
Oh, then there was the
make it
sleep
about me
study.
first. See, we'll get to that after I figure out what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Actually, you should say that thing while I figure out what I'm gonna say.
2 days after the concert, on a Monday,
Mm-hmm.
I had a sleep study that night.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to sleep in a hospital, but it was like, they furnished it decently, but they had to put all kinds of like shit in my hair.
Mm-hmm. In your hair?
Yeah, they had to put sensors on my scalp, and apparently I kicked my leg a lot in my sleep, so she had to put sensors on my leg, and there was some on my chest, and like basically all over my face. So like I was hella uncomfy, and at one point I was trying to lay on my side, my left side, and because of how I had to do that, it like was the most uncomfortable, and I thought I was gonna pull every cable out of the control panel,
Mhm.
or off of my body.
I see.
Yeah,
That was
it's
not a good experience.
it's not a good experience. I barely slept that night, and when I finally did get decent sleep, I had to wake up like 45 minutes later.
Did you get good information? You learned?
I haven't heard anything back yet.
I see. So it's,
Yeah, it was just, last week. It was exactly a week ago.
well, you could have information by a week.
Well, they haven't. They haven't told me anything yet.
Right.
There's a fucking fly in my room, and it's just, like, landing random places, and it's getting annoying.
Flies love doing that. Flies love going into your room and just fucking with you.
Oh, and then I've got another appointment this week on Thursday for my hands.
For your hands.
Yes.
What do you mean by
They're
that?
fucked. They hurt.
Oh, I see.
So I have an appointment for my hands on Thursday. It was originally supposed to be today at 8 a.m.
That sounds like a good and fun time that everyone would like to be awake for.
I was awake at 5 a.m. this morning. That's when I
Right.
went to bed.
Yeah, I assumed that was about right.
So that wasn't going to happen. I would have had to stay up all night, and I would have had to drive myself because my mom had to work.
Yeah.
My mom still has to work, so my grandma's taking me to my appointment this week.
See, that's something that I cannot relate to. My family's always lived far away from me, other than my close family.
We don't have the greatest relations with most of my family.
Yeah.
It's mostly just like my mom's mom and dad, and my dad's dad and mom.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else kind of sucks. Actually, my mom's younger sister's pretty all right, I guess.
So yeah, like 4 grandparents and
No, I've got eight grandparents, but I just
What?
don't talk to most of them. Both of my parents' got divorced and are married to different people. Like,
Okay, but I mean, like, you got 4 grandparents in your life. You don't have the super grandparents thing.
Well, no, I
despite-
mean, like, my dad's stepmom's all right, and his stepdad's all right.
Mhm.
My mom's stepmom is evil.
Evil.
Yes, evil. And I don't think her stepdad's her stepdad anymore. He left my grandma. I dropped something. But she won't stop talking about him.
That sounds healthy.
I think that they're both still down for each other. But it's fucking weird, and I end up hearing a lot about it because my mom hears a lot about it, and she likes to tell me about it because I like to hear about it, and also she gets to rant about it, which is good for you.
Is it good for you?
I mean, getting to complain about shit is, yeah.
Mm.
But that's enough about me.
Yeah. What I've been up to recently. I've moved my stuff out from the basement in the new place. I'm living there. I got stuff. I'm cooking for myself again. I'm not like hanging out with my parents all the time.
Oh, right, because you moved back with your parents, and then you moved out from with your parents.
Yeah. I was visiting with my parents for the summer. For a bunch of it actually. I expected it to be less, but then they were like, "Oh, but then your grandpa's coming." And like I said, I don't see those people very often. So I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'll have to see my grandpa."
So
And
you're
my
not
brother
living
had to
with your-
play. Sorry, what was that?
I was going to say, so you're not living with your roommates anymore?
No, I am living with my roommates.
Oh.
All but one. We were 4 last year, and now we're down to 3. Although only one of them is here right now.
Yeah.
So it'd be me and 2 others right now. So it'd be
Doug's
one of them.
dead. He's gone. Doug's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you don't talk to him anymore. He's dead. Doug. His name's Doug and he's dead.
This is an interesting creation you formed about my own life.
You had a roommate named Doug. He died. You buried him in the backyard and then moved.
I buried him?
You single-handedly. It was kind of
Not
hard to
that
operate the
strong.
shovel with just the one hand, but, you know, you used it too. It worked out. The
It is
hardest
true.
part was
You do gotta
carrying the
use
body.
your feet when you're shuffling. You can drag a body. It wouldn't
With
be that
one
hard.
hand?
With one hand? Yeah, it's not that much more difficult.
I mean,
It's just
Doug's a
less grip.
big guy. He went to the gym. He was pretty beefed out.
I actually saw some live music a few days ago.
Oh, nice. Did you get to
There
meet
was-
a cool band after? I bet you did.
No,
Mine's
I was
better.
too busy juggling.
That's fair.
I went to an art festival and I was juggling.
Yes. Juggle Fest.
It wasn't a juggle fest. They were just the
No,
jugglers
but it
showed
was
up to
called
the
Juggle Fest. It was the last time you saw Doug.
How do you know?
Because he died in a tragic chainsaw juggling accident.
Anyways, I saw an interesting artist, Charlotte Cornfield. She made some sick tunes. I was listening to some sick tunes.
What
It
kind
was
of
also
sick
that was
tunes?
the day where they had the Pride Parade, but I just slept through it.
What kind of sick tunes did this Charlotte Cornfield make?
I don't know. You could find her on Spotify. She's Canadian. She makes like sick tunes. I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of like rock or like pop. It's like alt.
Okay.
It's like I don't know. It's like smoother, but I wouldn't call it bedroom pop. It's like
That's fair.
more than bedroom pop.
In other music news, I found 2 new bands that I like recently.
Now tell me about the 2 new bands.
My friend recommended one to me because they're releasing a new album for the first time in forever. They're called Porcupine Tree. They're a prog rock band.
Prog rock. Cool.
And the other one I found on accident. They're called Kardashev, and they're a progressive death metal / death gaze band.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're really good. Beautiful vocals.
Yeah.
Varied sounds from album to album. Pretty cool.
Sounds cool.
And then I played the Devil May Cry series. I played the first game.
Mhm.
So
that was Devil May Have Tears. The first
that
one.
was more like Devil May Cringe.
Bad game, you're saying?
No, it was a good game. There was just like a little cringe in it.
Yeah? What do you mean by that? Tell me more.
I mean, there's the line.
What's the line?
I should have been the one to let to shine light on the darkness of your heart or something. Hang on, let me
That's
Google the
just a
line.
good
Let me
lyric,
Google the
honestly.
line. Let me Google the line for you real quick.
That's just like a good lyric. That's just someone putting a good lyric in their video game. I don't understand the problem.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
That's good. That's just like in Dark Souls. I remember in Dark Souls where they said
Right, but it's the
exact line.
delivery. Listen to it.
Oh, wait, I gotta listen to it? Oh.
Yes, it's only a 6-second clip. Just listen to that shit. Ah!
That's
The
good.
fly landed on my face.
That's impressive. Are you dead? Are you Doug the whole time? It's
How'd
impossible.
you know? I'm
No
trying to
fucking
Walter
way.
White this shit right now. I'm gonna kill this fucker.
You're gonna
He's
lay
dead.
a million straps from the ceiling. Oh, have you been watching more? Watching more Better Call Saul?
I am in season 5. I have not gotten through season 5.
Is season 6 the last one? I
Yes.
haven't started season 6 yet.
Yeah.
What are you
it's fine.
thinking? What are you thinking about it?
It's good. He's finally
That's
called
it?
Saul.
He's finally called Saul.
Yeah, season 5. Finally called Saul.
That's your whole.
I mean, I haven't finished the season yet.
You gotta have opinions on the new characters that are being introduced.
I don't like Lalo. He kind of sucks shit.
In which way? Like he does suck shit, but you could like him as a character, or you could hate him as a character.
I love Nacho as a character. I don't like Lalo because he reminds me of people.
He's like too good at being a dickhead.
Yes.
That I think is, if anything, almost praise. But I can understand like not.
It's like
enjoying
he's trying to be a Tuco for this show, but there's already a Tuco in the universe.
I think he's more interesting than Tuco.
Yeah, but like, you know, I still don't like him that much.
So that sounds kind of more like you don't like him as a character.
Yeah.
I really like Lalo. I mean, he's like I hate him, but like you know what I mean.
Mike's still cool.
Like he's still cool.
I'm kind of sad that he had to shoot fucking the German guy. I
Yeah,
forget
you're
his
supposed to
name.
feel that way.
Because he was a real cool dude. I like the German guy.
Yeah, and Mike liked the German guy too.
Yeah. But he had to go and be silly and leave to talk to his wife.
Yeah, but Mike at this point has decided that he's just gonna listen to whatever he's commanded to do, basically.
Yep,
Not
and,
his call.
And then Gustavo Fring is like, kill him, do it now. And then he's like, okay. I like Gus. He's pretty cool. He's real fucked up.
He's real fucked up, but he's a interesting character for sure.
That show has a lot of bad guys from Far Cry in it.
It's 2.
That's a lot.
I don't know if that's a lot. Maybe it is a lot if you think about
Insert the Doofenshmirtz clip here.
Is that like a fifth of the cast? That's not a fifth of the cast though.
Of the
Much
main
less than a
cast,
fifth of the
maybe.
No, I don't think it even is. Because that'd mean there'd be 10 members of the main cast, but you can easily think of more than 10 members of the main cast.
Mike, Jimmy, Saul. They're bad. Fucking the same person, but if you want, I'll count them as separate people.
I'm not counting them separately.
Mike, Jimmy, Saul, Shimmy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kim,
Kim.
whatever his brother's name is.
Chuck's dead.
Yeah, he's a character.
Fine. Chuck.
Howard.
Howard. Yeah, I'll let you have that.
And then you can have Lalo, you can have Hector, you can have
Hello, Hector.
the twins,
uh,
which you can count as one character.
The twins
fine
aren't
to
the
count them
main
as one
character. They're not a main character.
They're a main character. They're one character, though. I can accept that they're one character. Then you've got, Nacho. We haven't mentioned Nacho yet. And we didn't mention Gus yet, so we're at 10 already.
Gus, and then that's 11.
Huel. We're at 11.
Huel. Okay, that's
we're
12.
at 12.
So now they're a sixth of the cast.
I agree that it's a substantial amount. I'll accept that.
Yeah. 33% of. Not 33. Let's have a 33.
15.6.
15.6% of the cast is Far Cry villains. At least.
Oh, it's 16.6. I was off by one.
Fuck you, 16.6.
It's a good show. I think that show's better than Breaking Bad by a lot. I don't think it's close.
It's just because the fucking main character of Breaking Bad's a bit of a bitch.
I think that that's a strong point for Breaking Bad.
I mean, in my opinion, Jesse's the better main character than Walting White.
I think that Jesse would not have made a good main character.
Sure, but he was the main character, and he was a good main character.
He was never the main character. He was the person you were always rooting for, but like you're always rooting for Nacho. He's not the main character.
Okay, then he's the main deuteragonist.
I accept this. This is true. That's a true fact about the show.
But he's my main character.
That's fair. I can accept that as well. It's a really good show. There was another video from the YouTube channel I mentioned last recording.
I don't remember.
What's Therapy? I'll send you the link maybe this time. He's making some really fucking good Better Call Saul videos, and also just some other videos. I watched some other ones.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember half the shit that we send each other for these episodes.
Yeah.
Or I don't even remember what happens between episodes. What happened during episodes? Apparently, one time we talked about fucking Spanish nicknames.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's reminding you of this?
I'm scrolling up. In the Discord chat.
Up? Oh, yeah. I think I might have been
that fucking fly. It just dive bombed me. It just fucking buzzed my ear.
Welcome everyone to our Breaking Bad episode.
This really is the bottle episode. One of these times it's gonna land in my palm and I'm gonna be ready for it.
You're just gonna... That's actually an interesting strategy.
Just be fucking calm. Keep my hand open.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's a losing strategy, but I think it's interesting.
It's the only one I can think of. Unless I got some honey out of the kitchen and slathered it all over my hand. But I'm not doing that.
Spatula or something.
All of our spatulas are slotted, so they would go right through.
I mean, that's not quite true.
This fly is already Morpheus.
Like, there's a reason why, what are these things even called? How did I forget the word for them?
Fly swatters?
Yeah, fly swatters.
No, but the spatulas have fucking big assholes.
I guess. You still must have like a 50% chance of hitting.
Maybe.
And 50% is pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably less than 50 because it's like 50% chance of on a thing that would otherwise hit. We apparently had fruit flies in the house, but I haven't seen very many of them. My roommate left out vinegar, and then all of the flies disappeared, and the vinegar got murky. So I was asked the wonderful question: can vinegar dissolve flies? Do you think?
I mean, it's pretty acidic.
Do you think it could?
What's the pH of a fly?
The pH of a fly? I don't think you're gonna find the answer to that.
Yeah, no. Like maybe larvae, but yeah, vinegar is pretty acidic. I feel like you could dissolve small bodies in it.
Okay, the other thing though is, would a fly just sit there, just chill, as it was dissolved in vinegar? And I think the answer to that is pretty clearly no.
Well, you're supposed to mix it with like a little bit of something so it can't get out, like soap or some shit, aren't you?
I have no idea exactly the precise recipe that was used, so that's possible. but I still think it's unlikely. I feel like a fly would have a little bit more sense than to just chill in vinegar until death.
Well, like, I feel like once it gets close enough to the vinegar, it's like, it's a trap, and then it's dead.
You think it dissolves instantly?
No, I think it just, like, gets fucking lost in the sauce, goes for a taste, falls in, gets stuck, gets fucking Augustus glooped,
Uh-huh.
you know?
Interesting. You know, I knew someone who used to... I used to know someone who would drink vinegar.
Yeah, it's just tasty. I don't know if I'd drink it, but it's tasty.
That was not the response I was quite expecting.
Well, what kind of vinegar?
Like, just straight vinegar.
Regular white vinegar?
What, regular white vinegar?
Yeah, it's tasty.
Okay. You're a different person than I.
You telling me you don't like salt and vinegar chips?
I think they're fine. They're like my fifth favorite type of chips.
What's your first? Probably ketchup chips because you're fucking Canadian.
Ketchup chips are too sweet.
Huh?
I like don't know, like dill pickle chips are good.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're pretty good.
Anything like I like a nice like onion chip,
I like sour cream and onion.
sour cream and onion. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. I like cheddar and sour cream as well. Let's do a chips tier list.
Chips tier list. Let's go through them. Let me pull up the list of all chips. Where do you put ketchup chips? Because you mentioned them earlier.
I've never had them.
You've never had them?
Yeah, we don't really have them down here.
You'd be shocked at how good they are. You might think these are... I mean, they're not as good as, like, barbecue chips, but... Have you had barbecue chips?
Oh yeah, I've had barbecue chips.
They're not as good as barbecue chips, but that's just because ketchup is just worse than barbecue sauce.
This is a pretty lacking
Chips tier list?
tier list. It's got a good amount of stuff, but it's like, you know, not the greatest. I don't know. It's got enough stuff on it that I'm willing to call this one fine. We can do this one.
Sure. Send me it, and we can say the things out loud.
Yeah, this is the second tier list we've done on this show.
I think the last one was probably not done so well for...
Right, because you had
for
done
the
it before
viewers.
the show, and then I did it on the show, and we...
But also,
talked
like,
about
it's
it.
hard to read out the exact tiers. I think we gotta instead just talk about each of these things. They have first on this list Crunchy Cheetos, which
Yeah.
is excellent.
Crunchy
Just an
Cheetos
excellent
are
ones.
good, but they're not, like, top tier.
They're not the... I agree with you. That's like a nice,
Like-
solid A tier for me.
I like them more than Puffs, though, I think.
We're gonna get to Puffs later. You're wrong about that. These are like the third best Cheetos.
Are there
Um,
Puffs on this list?
There are Puffs on this list.
Okay, we'll talk about it when we get there. I don't
What
see
are-
them,
They're like on the
but...
top.
Oh, there they are, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put Crunchy Cheetos in A tier.
I agree with that completely.
Next one on the list is
Which
Sweet
Doritos are those?
Chili Doritos.
Oh, sweet chili heat. Those are excellent. Also A tier.
Have you ever had them with fucking spray cheese on them?
I've not had them with spray cheese. I'm not a
It
huge fan of
sounds
spray
like
cheese.
something that would have come out of a fucking massive marijuana bender, but like
Yeah.
that shit was good. I
Yeah,
haven't had it in forever, but like based on my memory of that, also solid A tier.
it's just a good chip.
Yeah.
Up next, they got Fritos flavor twists.
Yeah, the
Smoky
honey
barbecue.
barbecue.
Honey
Ugh,
barbecue.
Honey barbecue. These things I remember like
I've never had them.
going feral over them.
I've,
Um, That said, they're
Yeah.
not my most memorable chip.
they look like pasta. Maybe I have had these ones. I don't know that I've had them with honey barbecue flavor.
I don't know that I'd say they look like pasta, but
Well, they have the exact pasta shape. That's a type of pasta that's that twist.
I think based purely on nostalgia, I'm going to put them in B. I've changed my mind. I'm putting sweet chili in B as well because that's like a nostalgia food, and I don't eat them anymore.
I see.
Next
I'm
up
just
is
me.
fucking Funyuns. What you say about Funyuns will tell me what kind of person you are.
Yeah. So I need to give a good answer.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna put them in a place, and then you're gonna tell me where you put them, and then I'm gonna tell you where I put them. And I'm gonna tell you why you're right or wrong.
I don't know that I've ever had Funyuns.
Cool.
Where do you put them?
I put them in D tier.
You hate Funyuns. You fucking hate these.
If I hated them, they'd be an F. They're
You don't
good
like
when
them.
it's all you have. Like, I wouldn't not eat over having Funyuns.
Interesting.
But, you know, they're not great. They're just too strong. They're too potent.
I think maybe I have had them once, but like not enough. I can't think of what they taste like. They're like hollow, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're like really aerated.
I'm a huge fan of onion rings, but
It's just onion powder and like aerated fucking shitty chip dough.
onion powder is good. No,
Well,
no.
yeah, but not like
I'm not
on
sold.
its own.
Yeah. What's the next one? There's like
Baked
Lay's,
barbecue Lay's.
baked barbecue. Okay, all the baked ones taste the same as the other ones, and it's
But they're
barbecue
like
chips.
crunchier and sometimes saltier.
Yeah, they do have a little bit of a different, especially texture. I think baked chips are pretty good.
I'm gonna have some Chips Ahoy while we're doing this, actually.
That's not a chips. Wait a minute.
Chocolate chips.
What do you think about these baked? I don't know that I've had them specifically, but I can form the taste in my mind.
Baked barbecue. The barbecue taste is more potent in the baked chips,
Yeah,
which I think is a bit much for me, but they're still good.
you're putting them in B tier.
I'm putting them in C tier.
C tier. You've got a much more balanced list than I.
I don't
I'm putting
care.
them in A tier.
I don't care as much for baked style chips, except for the plain chips.
I see.
We'll
Up
get to those
next.
later.
You've got a classic. Bugles. Never had them. Not once.
I haven't either. I'm putting them in
After-
F tier because I've never had them.
After that is Cape Cod Original. I don't know that I've had Cape Cod Original chips.
Oh, we can add a row below.
Yeah, I added a row for never had.
Yeah.
Kettle cooked potato chips. You know, I like kettle cooked chips, but there's no way if I've had these that I'd be able to remember what they tasted like, so there's no way I'm rating them.
Yeah, they're just plain, the Cape Cod one. I've never had them either.
Up next is Flaming Hot Cheetos.
F tier.
Easily F tier.
Worst Cheetos ever.
See, the thing is that do they even have the best Cheetos here? Okay, so they don't have the best Cheetos flavor, which is, of course, the jalapeno Cheetos.
I'll tell you
thing
what's
about
good
the-
though. They do make Cheetos popcorn, and it
Yeah.
tastes just like the Smart Food popcorn, but it leaves you with Cheeto dust.
I have never had that. It sounds good. My opinion on Flaming Hot Cheetos, though, is that it's spicy, which I don't mind, clearly, if I think that jalapeno Cheetos are the best ones. Although those aren't that spicy. You need to eat like 10 of them to even feel anything.
Right, but
But
the
the-
hot Cheetos aren't even that spicy. They just taste weird.
They are pretty spicy, I think. It's just they don't have a taste. The spiciness is just no added taste. They taste terrible.
Well, they have a taste, but it's like
Well, it's like basically
weird and
like
chemically sweet,
it's like watered down Cheetos, but then we made them spicy too.
and
it's
added
like-
chemical taste, but like not even good chemical taste.
yeah, it's bad. Up next is Puffs.
Cheetos Puffs, yeah.
You think that these are worse than Crunchy Cheetos?
I never said they are worse. I said that crunchy Cheetos are just better.
Okay, that implies worse.
I'm going to put them in A tier, but below crunchy Cheetos.
These are an S tier for me. It's the perfect shape for eating. You love them. You want to have them.
That's fair.
More of 'em.
They make a lot more mess.
They do make a lot more mess. That's okay. So the thing to be careful about is that when you're eating these, you need to make sure that every single one doesn't touch your lips right into your mouth one bite. And then it's not as much mess as it would be
Still.
otherwise. It's true.
Like the
it can be
Cheeto
messy.
dust gets more because it's aerated.
I don't know that that's necessarily true. You can be careful.
I guess. Next is
Um,
hot and spicy Cheez-Its.
I didn't even know this was a real thing.
They're good as hell.
I don't believe that it's a real thing. Where are you putting it?
They are good as hell. I'm putting them in high B tier, above the sweet chili Doritos, because I haven't had them in forever, but they were good as hell.
Interesting. Up next is white cheddar Cheez-Its. Also, have never seen these in my life.
They're going low B tier.
Just not that good?
They're all right.
Well, how do they compare to, up next, original Cheez-Its?
I'm gonna put these above baked barbecue, but in C tier still.
I think that these are also a C tier. They're not terrible. They're just...
overwhelming after a little bit.
I don't even know that I agree with that. I think they just don't have enough flavor.
That's fair.
next is Chex Mix, and it's
Bold
got
Chex
some
Mix.
typing. What's bold Chex Mix got in
It's
it?
got extra Worcestershire sauce.
Really?
Yes.
They have Worcestershire sauce?
Yes. This
I
is
don't
my
believe
favorite
that.
Chex Mix. It's one of my favorite snacks.
I don't know that I've had this one specifically.
Easy S tier.
Easy S tier. What do you think about it compared to traditional Chex Mix?
Traditional Chex Mix is mid at best.
Mid? I highly disagree. That's a solid top of B tier.
Sure,
Just a
but
very
like,
good-
why would you get regular Chex Mix when you could get bold Chex Mix or
Okay, I've never
spicy
had
Chex
bold.
Mix or cheese
spicy.
Chex Mix?
I'll admit that I've had none of those other ones.
That's what I'm saying.
Up next is combos. What? Party bag combos?
You've never had combos?
Cheddar cheese combos? I might have.
They're like pretzels with stuff in the middle of them. It's like a ring of pretzels, a cylinder, a tube of pretzel around a filling.
I'm gonna be very honest about something. I'm not a huge fan of pretzels.
That's fair.
I haven't had
Pretzels
these before though.
or combos used to be like my top snack. Used to be.
I'm putting it in C tier. It's just not
I'm
my
gonna
type
put
of thing.
the cheddar cheese in like high C tier above Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
Pizza combos are going mid B tier.
The pizza gives you something.
They're good as shit.
I believe you. Up next, we're heading to, just a million Doritos.
territory. Cool
What's
Ranch.
the first one? Cool Ranch, of course. Cool Ranch directly next to Sweet Chili Heat Doritos.
I'm putting them in D tier, above Funyuns, but still D tier.
That's crazy. You're crazy for that.
I just don't care for them.
It's an A tier. It's just good.
Next up is nacho cheese.
This is just classic Doritos. Solid top of B tier.
Yeah, this is going like second in B tier for me, right below hot and spicy cheeses.
They're just good. That's all there is to them. They're just good.
Yeah, I had some last night.
Last night, you're having Doritos. Are you having Doritos, Cheetos, and Fritos, though, is the real question.
No. What the hell's that next one?
That's Doritos. Something...
Hang on, I'm gonna Google
it's
this.
spicy.
Green Doritos bag.
It's like Doritos, but they're spicy. But they're not the roulette Doritos.
No, those ones are good. They are
But-
salsa verde.
Salsa Verde is good. I don't know that I've ever had these Doritos.
I haven't even. I'll tell you what is good though. The spicy cheese ones.
Are we coming up to those? We still have standard Doritos. Not even
We are
standard
not.
Doritos, but ancient Doritos. They unearthed
Those are
these
just like plain
with the
Doritos. I think those are
pyramids.
just Doritos corn chips.
I don't know that I've ever had these specific corn chips. If they're corn chips,
Or no, they're
probably
taco
like
flavor. Those ones were good.
I've definitely never had those then.
Yeah, taco flavored Doritos. They were pretty good. They're going in high C tier
Interesting.
because they're still a nostalgia food, but they weren't my favorite nostalgia food.
Interesting.
Next up,
is
though, Doritos,
Doritos
Jacked.
Jack.
That's like the spicy.
This is ranch dipped hot wings.
Yes. Let me tell you about these things. I used to go hog wild on these bastards.
Yeah. Loved them.
Oh, I love these fuckers. You know where
Where
they're
you putting
going?
them?
You know where they're going?
Probably lowest.
Above hot and spicy cheese. It's in B tier.
In B tier? That's way lower than I
They're still
expected.
nostalgia.
I've never had them. Just no way to know.
Yeah, they're good.
Next is Fritos.
Fritos chili cheese. These ones,
Haven't had them.
I remember them being alright. They're like pretty standard. They're like not quite as good as the barbecue flavor twists, which I am going to move above combos in B tier. I'm putting them at bottom B tier.
Bottom B tier. So these
Yes.
things are nothing compared to
Nothing compared to
Doritos
ranch
Jacked.
dipped hot wings Doritos
Ranch dipped
jacked.
what about
But
standard Fritos? What do you
Standard
think about
Fritos,
standard Fritos?
they're reliable. They're a tasty snack. They're going high A tier, top of A tier.
I don't know that I've ever had standard Fritos either.
They're
Up
pretty
next is Gardettos.
good. The
I think
fuck
I'm
is
reading that.
Gardettos?
The text is really small. It's Chex Mix.
Oh, it's shitty Chex Mix. I've never had it.
No, it's not even got any of the good stuff.
It's got the rye chips, from the looks of it, which are my favorite part.
You're crazy.
Well, when you get a rye chip that's extra packed with flavor in the bold ones, then you're just like, fucking, it's so good you could like fucking goo, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Up next is Goldfish. This one's flavor blasted. Is this perhaps?
I think it's the pizza flavor.
I think it's
That or
the
it's the
pizza
cheese
flavor.
flavor. No, the cheese flavor was darker. I think it's
No,
the
it's
pizza
the pizza
flavor.
one. Explosive pizza. I had a lot of these.
They're pretty good.
C tier. They're not that.
A tier. Bottom A tier.
They're okay.
They're good. I'm actually putting Doritos Jacked in A tier as well.
And I win again. My estimates of where you're putting things. Okay, admittedly, I guessed S, so like I'm wrong. But
Well, it's
what do you
still
think
like
about standard Goldfish though, in comparison?
D tier. High
D-tier?
D tier, but still D tier.
You're insane. These are top B or low A.
They're
I think
boring.
low A.
They're not. You're telling me they stand up to baked barbecue and Chex Mix and Cheez-Its and Taco Dorito?
Yes.
No.
You can eat so many of these. You can just get one whole bag and just.
Why would you
drop
though?
that
They
back.
just they're boring.
They're good. They're good.
Once you've
They're so
had
good.
any of the special ones,
No,
they're
sometimes
just
you need
boring.
You need a classic. You just need to go crazy on it. Go ham on it.
I think you're wrong.
I think they're crazy good.
That's fair.
They aren't messy like the explosive pizza ones. They're just
Sure, but like that's part of the experience is the fucking massive dredge of like pizza flavored dust on your finger afterwards that you have to use
Hugely
your
disagree.
teeth to scrape off.
Hugely disagree.
All right, you're lost. Next up is
Next.
Harvest Cheddar Sun Chips.
Sun chips,
Easily
best
one of the
chips.
better flavors of Sun Chips.
just really, really, really good. Easy S tier.
Best flavor of Sun Chips, of course, being the plain ones.
That's wrong.
I'm gonna put Harvest Cheddar in mid A tier.
I think that's a fair place for it.
What the fuck are these next ones? They look like shitty knockoff hot Cheetos.
It's Chester's fries.
Oh.
All I know about Chester's fries is that one day Chester said to come follow me into the back alley, and I said, Chester, I don't want to follow you in. And he said, look, I have my flaming hot fries.
Now, I'll tell you what is good. Now, excuse me for a minute. I'm getting my legs propped up on my desk, so there's probably a lot of noise in the recording.
Yeah.
But I don't have to deal with that. That's not my problem.
I'm not. You do have to deal with that. You're making the sound worse for our viewers or listeners.
Andy's hot fries. You ever had Andy's hot fries?
No.
They taste like chemical cheese, but they're spicy and good.
Interesting. I'm very
Also, if
turned
you look
away
at
by-
Andy Cap, he's like fucking. He don't give a shit. He knows he spilled chemicals in your fucking hot fries. He doesn't give a shit.
He appears to be a little creature.
He fucking violated a bunch of environmental protection ordinances. He doesn't give a shit. He's Andy Cap.
0 grams of trans fat. This guy hates trans people.
Andy Cap. Hot fries. Fucking Andy Cap. Yeah, he don't give a shit. He's like the sleaziest dude you know.
Interesting. So what's your broader point about these? I assume you've never had these.
Oh, I've never had
Chester's
Chester's.
hot
That's why I was
fries.
bringing up Andy's.
I see. We got to move on to something that around these parts, a classic, one of everyone's favorites.
So I've not had these specific salt and vinegar chips, but I have had plenty of salt and vinegar chips, and I'm going to
What's the
rank them
brand?
as regular. I think they're just Kettle brand.
Kettle brand.
Yeah.
I think you're right. So I'm
I'm going to
all the
rate
time.
them as standard salt and vinegar chips, though, as a category.
They're a little bit different from that, but I think it's a fair assumption. Or a
I'll
fair
tell
way to
you
do
what's different. Fucking, have you ever had Utz salt and vinegar chips?
No.
Those fuckers will invert your face. And they're great for it. If one of them touches your lip, you get instant chemical burns from how fucking potent the vinegar is.
Interesting. So, I guess I'm going to talk about my opinions on salt and vinegar chips, which is that salt and vinegar chips
S tier, by the way.
these ones are C tier. And that's because salt and vinegar is fine. And it's good in the sense that it prevents you from eating too many of them, which can be seen as an upside.
Yo, what? You're telling me you can't eat the whole bag?
I could eat a whole bag. But
I
at
can
some point,
and
you
have
don't want
and
to.
will eat the whole bag.
I
all
think
at
that salt and
once.
vinegar chips just eventually convince you to not eat the whole bag, and that can be useful to some people. But I am just not. I prefer something that tasted better the whole time. Like the
I'm
first
built different.
salt and vinegar chip is better than most other chips flavors, but then like the fifth one is not as good.
I think that's where you're wrong.
Well, I disagree with you. Up next is Lay's. Is these just standard baked Lay's?
Yes. And they're
That's
good,
boring.
but they're not great.
I agree
They're
with that
more
completely.
salty and less oily, which is like the two complaints I have with a Lay's baked or Lay's original chip.
Interesting. So where are you putting these ones?
Like lower mid A tier.
A tier. I'm putting these at B tier, but I guess that's not so far off.
Next up though is regular ass barbecue Lay's.
Barbecue chips, easy A tier.
The regular ones are going in B tier.
They're so good.
They're going in mid B tier. You can't eat too many of them. They're just too much after a while.
They're so good.
Plus, they're like
this is-
they're Lay's chips, so they're oily as hell.
I kind of see what you mean that at some point you just gotta stop. But actually, I disagree because you don't need to stop since they're so good.
I just with any barbecue chip for me, it's like with you with the salt and vinegar. Like the first one's good.
That's exactly what I was
The
thinking.
10th one is like I could keep eating these for a little bit, and then the
what you
20th one
mean.
you're just like, please,
Right.
please, I want to see my family again.
Right, they're very sweet.
It's not even the sweetness; it's just like the fucking, you know.
I think that actually it is the sweetness.
Not
I
for
think
me. Not the
you're
sweetness, it's something else.
Appropriate. I think you're like.
I have eaten plenty of barbecue chips. I think I know what the problem I have with.
I think you're attributing, like the wrong thing to why you can't keep eating them. Because I'm pretty sure it is the sweetness.
It's not the sweetness.
I feel this very strongly that it is the sweetness.
It is not the sweetness. I know my chip experience. It's not the sweetness.
It's like when you eat like a lot of tomatoes.
I can eat a lot of tomatoes.
Yeah, but they're very sweet. And also, I guess for tomatoes, it's more that they're acidic.
Yeah, like I said, it's not the sweetness, it's not the acidity that does it for me. It's just the flavor.
It's the sweetness in the
It's not-
flavor.
Malachi, I understand what you're doing. I know what I'm talking about.
I disagree. I think you're wrong.
Moving on, kettle cooked barbecue. Never had kettle
Kettle-cooked
cooked barbecue.
Yeah, I don't think I've had these specific ones.
I've
either.
had French onion kettle cooked chips. They were pretty good.
Yeah,
I've also had jalapeno kettle cooked chips that were pretty good.
jalapeno's a good flavor. I wish I could find some, but all the stores around here are like, nope. We have like cabbage. We can give you cabbage.
Cabbage is alright. You can shred it up, put it in some fucking
Okay, well, if I'm
mayonnaise.
looking for jalapeno, cabbage is
Cabbage.
definitely not what I'm looking for. They'll give me like bell peppers. They've got like, oh, you want peppers? We got bell peppers.
Next up is sour cream and onion.
Sour cream and onion is top of A tier chip, just really good.
I'm gonna put mine mid upper A tier. Just because there's better methods of salt and vinegar than Lay's.
That's, you know what? I respect that opinion completely.
Yes. One of which is on here later.
After this is Lay's Classic, which is a solid A tier chip, just a good
I'm
chip.
gonna put it in C tier.
Cause you're wrong. Cause you hate chips. Cause you
Well,
like being
Lay's classic chips are far too oily. You have to have something to put on them. For example, a nice French onion dip.
wrong. I disagree completely.
I will say I do like the wavy cut ones more because they're less oily, like per square inch. in
Because they
my-
maximize square inches. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
But they're just too much for me.
I see. I disagree completely, but I understand.
Next, though, Munchies spicy stuff.
I've never had these. Easy. I've never had these from me.
Yeah, I've never had this one before. I've had the
We got
next
classic
one.
munchies up next.
Classic Munchies is like a weird version of Chex Mix.
What's
Like, it's
in
got
classic
Doritos.
munchies? It's got Doritos. Oh, these are better than Chex Mix.
Yeah, it's like pretzels and Doritos.
These are solid A tier because they're better than Chex Mix.
I'm putting it in D tier.
You hate.
It's
these
not as
fucking
bad as
chips.
Flaming Hot Cheetos, which I am just going to rename F tier to Flaming Hot Cheetos,
They're just so bad.
and I'm gonna put it so low on the list. Oh yeah, I'm renaming it to Flaming Hot Cheetos, and then putting it in parentheses terrible. Up next is something.
Sure is. That's so true.
I have no idea what it is. I'm gonna see if I can do a Google image search.
I also have no idea what this is. It's just impossible to know.
It's not letting me copy the
They're
image.
Poor Brothers salt and vinegar chips.
Oh, yeah, I've never had them.
Never had them either. Up next are pork skins. I have not had these.
I've not had these pork skins. I've had the ones later.
I feel like actually I might have had these pork skins, but actually I cannot remember them at all. So
Yeah, I've had the later like fried pork skins, but I haven't had these ones. Oh wait, no, those are hot and spicy. I haven't had those. Yeah, I've had pork rinds before, but like I haven't had these ones. They're just not great.
Mhm.
Kind of boring. And like, it's like when you eat too much Lay's chips and it gets all stuck in your mouth.
I do not know that feeling.
You must not have functioning molars.
My molars are very functional. Up next, they have the only two Pringles on this list, neither of which are original Pringles.
Right.
I'm
Only
just
one
gonna
of which
rate,
is actually good.
I'm gonna rate pizza Pringles as original Pringles because
You can't do
only
that
ver-
though. They're pizza Pringles. You can't.
I don't
rate them as
care. I'm
original.
rating them as original Pringles because I've never had pizza Pringles, and original Pringles got snubbed.
Pizza Pringles are D tier, by the way.
Original Pringles are of course A tier.
Sour cream though. Sour cream is also A tier, but it's like one above Lay's sour cream.
What does that put? Oh, I see. Where would you put that compared to original Pringles?
Original Pringles?
Yep.
One below. So still A tier, but like one below.
Wait, you'd put original Pringles one below?
No, I put sour cream Pringles one below
Right.
original Pringles.
Okay. I think that's exactly how I would do it.
Next
we got
is
pretzels.
rolled
Who even
gold.
likes pretzels? F tier.
I will say, rolled gold do make decent pretzels. I prefer the honey mustard ones,
I'm putting them C tier because
but I'm
actually
still putting them in like upper B tier.
I'm putting them C tier. I don't hate pretzels. They're just not that good.
That's fair. Next up, though, Ruffles cheddar and sour cream. One of my favorite flavors of traditional chips is
It's just a strong
cheddar
chip.
and sour cream. I also really like the Ruffles because of their like fucking like their construction.
Yeah.
Like their texture, their crunch.
You like the texture? You like the crunch?
They're built well.
Just a well-built chip.
A well-built chip. I will put
Well-built
these
chip.
chips in A tier, top of A tier.
Interesting.
Next. Well, do you have any opinions on Ruffles? Sour cream and cheddar?
They're fine. I put them in B. They're just like a solid chip.
I'm gonna put the Ruffles cheddar or sour cream and onion in a high B tier. No.
think-
I'm putting them above Pringles sour cream and onion because I forgot where I put that.
I think
What do you mean?
Ruffles sour cream and onion goes low A tier. They're good.
Mine's mid upper A tier because of how I've placed the rest of the sour cream and onion.
Right. You're more.
Next up is another S tier for me. Smart Food
S tier.
white cheddar popcorn.
So what's weird about Smart Food white cheddar popcorn is that it feels wrong, and that's why it goes A tier. But I see what you mean about S tier.
It's one of my favorite snacks.
It's a good snack.
Next is hot and spicy pork rinds, which I've never had.
Mhm.
And then some weird ass sun chips.
This is
that I've
French
heard of.
onion, sour cream and French onion sun chips. These
Never
ones are
had
good.
them.
They're like A tier.
That's fair.
Up
Up
is
next.
Tots.
the only other thing that's going to go in Flaming Hot Cheetos tier.
Oh, thank God you agree with me on this one.
Takis are shit.
They're just not good. I don't know why anyone eats them.
Like, if you wanted a spicy chip, get fucking the Doritos Flamin' Limon flavor. Because they're like, they've got the lime, they've got the heat, they're good.
They're just... Takis are just not good. I don't understand what the market is for Takis.
There is something that my teacher did, the last teacher I ever had in my IT program. He put curry powder on them, and he liked them, and that was his first time having Takis and liking them. And he put curry powder on them. He put curry powder on fucking everything, though.
Well, curry powder is good.
Well, yeah, but, like, he put it on everything.
I don't see how this is, like,
it's not bad. It's just fucking, it was an experience. Like, sure, it's good on everything, but I wasn't expecting it to be good on everything. So when he said, yeah, I'm going to put curry powder on this fucking coconut. You want some coconut? I'm putting curry powder on mine. I was like, I guess, yeah, I'll have some coconut. Like, cool.
Yeah.
He put it on his eggs, which is, you know, perfectly reasonable. Eggs get curry powder. It is perfectly reasonable. And he just put that shit on everything.
Up next is Tostitos Original Party Size Bag.
Yeah, C tier.
These are a low B tier chip. They're fine.
Put them in high C tier. They're not that good without a dip.
I agree with you.
Like, when I finish with my dip, I will eat some more of them afterwards, just to, you know, because I'm hungry. I want something to munch on. I'll munch on them. They aren't that good.
They're not.
Otherwise,
I think that's a fair way of putting it. Up next is Tostitos with some flavor on them or something.
Yeah, I've never had those.
I've had like lime Tostitos.
I've had some flavored Tostitos, but I've never had those flavored Tostitos.
The roommate that is no longer with us would buy a bunch of lime Tostitos.
I hope your roommate who is no longer with us watches this and gets to hear what I have to say about this person that I have no idea who they are.
Yeah, it's Tostitos.
Have you had Triscuit before?
I have had Triscuit before.
I've never had Triscuit. I've had Wheat Thins, but I've never had Triscuit.
Wheat Thins are really, really good. Triscuit is not that good. It's like a D tier.
That's fair.
Veggie straws.
These things are good.
These things are D tier.
They're B tier.
They're D tier because they are not that good.
They're B tier because they're bussin', respectfully.
I'm gonna be disrespectful to the Veggie Straws company. What's the last one? Is this jalapeno kettle cooked Lays? Never had them.
I'm going to judge them as other chips that I've had and put them at A tier.
Interesting.
Other chips are the same flavor.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take a screenshot of my tier list and send it to you, and you're going to be like, why is she so right?
Well, I like your F tier. So it's a good F tier.
It's not an F tier. It's Flaming Hot Cheetos tier.
That's F tier.
There's mine.
You chose a fucking nasty color for your flavor.
It's just the one that it came up on.
It's just a nasty color is all I'm saying.
You got two things in your S tier and they're both boring.
They're both good. What do you have in your S tier? Bold Chex Mix? You're putting that above, like, what's the other combination one? I can't even find it because your list is too well balanced. Yeah, Munchies.
Munchies isn't that good.
Your list should be shitty. You should have less balance in your list like I do. You should fill your A tier with more objects like I did.
You had two more in your A tier than I did.
You should have put two more.
I actually used my D tier, unlike you.
I put almost this. You put like 3 more in there.
Yeah, which is more than half.
Yeah, because there's not many things that are D tier in my mind.
We had the same Flaming Hot Cheetos tier though, so that's good at least. I've had more of these than you though.
You're right. You've had more chips. I don't know that that's a positive or a negative thing.
Yeah, I use my B tier more than you as well.
At
I
the start
wouldn't
of the
say.
list, I was using so much A tier.
Yeah, you were. I was worrying when I was gonna use my S tier, then I saw it and I was like, yeah, those are S tier for sure.
You could honestly move all of my A tier into S tier.
That's a little fucked up.
It'd be
At that
good
point,
too, I'd
then
be
the
right.
S tier becomes A tier. Because of the lack of A tier.
No, then B tier becomes A tier.
That's weird. I don't think that's how that works. Because then your F tier is D tier, which means that they're at least passable.
That's fine. I can accept that.
So we originally had something planned for this episode, but we got sidetracked to hell.
We're definitely saving that for next episode.
Alright, that means we'll have to push my episode back another week, but that's fine. It'll give me more time to prepare.
We can do that with. We can talk about it after the
Yeah.
thing. Thank you all for listening to our ramblings about chips. If you have ramblings about chips, maybe you should share it with us at our email. Send us an email at ballpod.show@gmail.com.
Yeah, you should do that. If you don't, I'll find out where you live, and I'll put a decapitated Cheeto in your head. I meant to say goldfish.
In your
I did meant
head?
to say goldfish.
In your head?
I said bed.
Oh, bed. In
I'll
your
put a
bed.
decapitated goldfish in your bed.
That's
No.
an
I'll
interesting-
take the head off of a horse animal cracker for maximum accuracy. That's what I'll do.
Animal crackers. We should have rated those. Those are fucking good.
Animal crackers are C tier.
You're just crazy. You're crazy. To say that is insane. It's the sign of like something's wrong in your life. I'm sorry to say this.
You're not wrong.
Well, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed listening to Balls. Show us your balls and have a lovely day.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.